Hi, my name is Joni, holistic health teacher, coach, and consultant. So getting right to it today. Coming out of 2020, many of us have faced challenges never before faced or that we knew deep down inside that we've been ignoring in the past. Now is the time to strip everything away and start anew. This is the time of year to start where you are. Wherever that is, it makes no matter. So in starting where I am today, I'm going to start anew here with the ABCs of health for anyone brand new to this journey, moving eventually toward holistic health, which touches on all realms of life. The intention is to contribute to anyone seeking support at this time. The task is to start where you are today. So today, without knowing you individually, I'm going to give a number one in taking care of you first so that you can better support those around you. If we don't self-support, we cannot care for our families, loved ones, or even sustain our working relationships at the level that we likely need to. So our number one is to do a reframe. Reframe, meaning to look at things and approach them in a different way or from another direction to gain a well-rounded view of a situation, right? An example would be when we are wanting to change our nutrition in hopes of losing weight or having more energy to create better brain health so that we can think clearly or just feel better on the whole. We as humans tend to think in terms of what we can't have. We tend to view it as what we need to take away and that it's going to be hard and that it's definitely not going to be fun. This is in part programming out of modern society, or perhaps what our parents modeled for us. There are many reasons we tend to come at this whole food and nutrition sector from this angle of what we can't have. My process is to reframe this to what we can have, to what we do get to do, to how easy it can be, and quite frankly, just keeping it simple and fun. We tend to go into overwhelm, which, trust me, I totally get it, but it doesn't have to be that way. Reframing to what we can always have is a shift. It takes time, but it's gentle and gradual, and it will eventually happen. When we focus on taking quote-unquote bad foods out or verbalize that we were bad for having a cookie, we are focusing on lack, which essentially just backfires. We also do not even see or hear ourselves doing this most of the time. This is essentially negative self-talk while also focusing on what we supposedly can't have. A great analogy would be when we tell a teenager what they can't do. Well, then that's all they will focus on. They just want to do what you tell them they can't do. We've all been there. We, as adults, do the same thing. We tell ourselves we can't have the cookie, so all we end up focusing on is the dang cookie. So first, creating awareness around this is key. So our number one is actually just to notice. There's no reason to be hard on yourself in coming to this realization. It's human nature, so let go of that and just notice. Notice your thoughts, notice your self-talk, and whether you're being too hard on yourself or not hard enough, we all swing one way or another. So finding our center is our goal here. So we have to first create that self-awareness by beginning to notice these things. Secondly, reframe. Everything I just covered, know that you can have what you want. You can lose the weight. You can fit into that hot little dress. You can feel strong and you're masculine when you want and need to be. You can have the cookie. You can also add one extra dark green vegetable to one meal every day for the next 2 weeks. You can drink more water to hydrate yourself since most Americans are dehydrated, which leads to weight gain and all sorts of other chronic issues. You can take a walk in the sunshine. This too can help with stress and weight loss. If you are in lockdown with COVID, you can turn on your favorite music and dance your tish off in your living room if you must for an hour with your kids and your pets. I've done this during lockdown many times, just kind of coming out of my skin and you know, if there was inclement weather or whatever the case was at the time, that was one way that I really shook it out of my system and got a little exercise in the process so that I could continue to function as normally as possible during this time. So Start where you are today. And by listening to this video all the way through to the end, you have already started. See my first video on learning what my intentions are for being here with you. Next time, we'll begin to get into the nitty-gritty details. Love you and be well.